Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian and I am the horror show host. And today I will be taking a look at the movies I watched in the month of March 2020. I will talk about each movie individually, starting now. The first movie I watched was Saw 3. And, well, I was surprised. I remember watching Saw 1 and 2 all the time, but Saw 3 was kind of like, that's a long movie, and I don't really have time. Well, I did have time, but I was just like, I could watch Saw 2 or 1 and have a shorter experience. I was a lazy child. Watching this, I really enjoyed the characters and all their development. It was a nice touch, and a great sequel. The second movie I watched was Leprechaun 4 in Space. Now, Leprechaun 4 is pretty bad, but it knows it's bad, but it's still trying to be a fun movie. And it's hard to categorize the Leprechaun movies, because are they so bad they're good, or are they so bad they're better? Well, in this case, I think they're so bad they're fun. They're self-aware comedies with horror sprinkled in. Leprechaun 4 is just a fun time. It has some great effects, some horrible effects, and Warwick Davis does not rhyme once. WTF. The third movie I watched was Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge. This is a fan favorite of the Puppet Master franchise, and I can see why. It has a lot of strong elements, great actors and acting, and there's some cool carnage. It's just a great story of taking revenge against the Nazis and using puppets, which is kind of cute. The fourth movie I watched was Madman from 1982. This is a weird slasher. It takes place entirely at night. Yeah, it's kind of interesting in that way. It really is just a big nightmare. And Madman Mars is a formidable foe. I really like his character. He has this whole backstory, and it's quite riveting and even disgusting. The characters are cool. Well, weird, but cool. This is not how people act, but the way they act is interesting. The fifth movie I watched was Sasquatch Mountain. Now, I know, I've got to get back to Bigfoot Week, which this week has been prolonged long enough. It's gone way past a week. But I will be reviewing this movie along with a few others to finally close out Bigfoot Week at some point, probably later this month when I have time to make all the thumbnails and record and edit everything. It's a big undertaking, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. The sixth movie I watched was Leprechaun in the Hood. It's a tale of struggling artists who want to make it into big time, and it's really, really corny, but I would be lying if I said it wasn't fun. The same can be said with the next movie on the list, which number 7 on my list of movies I watched in March was Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Now, it's more competently made than Leprechaun in the Hood, but does that make it a better movie? I feel that the motivations and arcs of the characters are not fully explored. They don't really learn anything from their experience besides, oh, now we can be together again, or now I can be more of a cool guy, not just a pothead. It's really weird things like that. I don't know. The eighth movie I watched was Leprechaun Origins. Now, a lot of people hate this movie, but I watched it again, and putting myself out of the mindset that it is not a Leprechaun movie, it's more of a Gollum movie, I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's not a great movie by any means, but it's well shot, has some great gore, and decent acting. I just wish you could see the Dane Leprechaun. That's a huge downgrade onto the film's overall quality. The ninth movie I watched was The Valley of Gwangae. I watched this with my mother and father, and we had a blast. Well, I mean, I had a blast. They were like, when is it gonna get to the dinosaurs? I'm like, you have to be patient. Have you not seen Jurassic Park or something like that? You don't show your hand right away. I mean, they had the little horse, which my mom was like, oh, that's so cute. But other than that, there was no dinosaurs for quite a while. I think this is a great fun time from the 60s, almost 70s actually. The 10th movie I watched was Mandy. Oh my god, I hated this film at first. I was like, this is so annoying. I could not stand any of the characters. And then something happened. And then the movie just switched. And I was all on board. It went from a possible 2-star review to a near 4-star review. It's actually more like a 3.5, but it is still an amazing movie. I highly recommend it. Just you have to wait an hour for it to get good. The 11th movie I watched was Zombie Bloodbath. Now, I have some Corpse Buddies videos I did with Daryl, Mr. Meathook himself, where I did Zombie Bloodbath 1, 2, and 3, Dreaming Purple Neon, and Clown Nado. And Zombie Bloodbath was the first one I watched on this brigade. And it's bad. It's really low budget bad. But it's got a charm to it, I have to say. They got away with a lot, much like Todd Sheets. He has connections to make his movies, and it really benefits the movie itself. So, the 12th movie I watched was Leprechaun Returns. I'd have to say this is one of the best of the Leprechaun movies. It's probably up there with the first 3, maybe even 2. I don't know. I'd say it's up there with number 3, which is my favorite. They're all fun and goofy in their own way. But Leprechaun Returns took it to a whole nother level with all the gore and the great cinematography. Acting was kind of weird, but I think the film overall just worked for what it was trying to do. The 13th movie I watched was Clown Nado. Now, Clown Nado, it has a lot going for it. A cool concept, a lot of gore, but there are just some things that don't quite work. Like, some characters choose to do certain things, and it goes entirely against their character. Also, some scenes take way too long to get going, but I think Clown Nado overall is a fun package. I highly recommend it for people who can stomach low budget, like really low budget movies. The 14th movie I watched was Dreaming Purple Neon. Now, Dreaming Purple Neon cost $3,000 to make, and holy mother of God. The whole film is disgusting, and it's just awesome to watch. There's so much gore that it's incredible that they got away with all that for $3,000. And the film itself isn't that bad either. It's got a cool story that all kind of connects together, and yeah, it's a pretty fun watch, I'm not gonna lie. The 15th movie I watched was Zombie Bloodbath 2. Now, this is probably my favorite of the trilogy. It's the most well shot, well told, and just overall probably the goriest of the trilogy. Definitely the goriest of the trilogy. There is some nasty stuff in this movie. It was released in 1995, which was 2 years after Zombie Bloodbath and 5 years before Zombie Bloodbath 3, so it was right in that sweet spot. They did some awesome stuff. The 16th movie I watched was Zombie Bloodbath 3. Now, this was bad. I mean, it's enjoyably, not even enjoyably, it's just irritatingly bad. Like, the constant use of the word F-U-C-K is just, oh, there's so much of it. Like, I don't mind swearing in movies, but this was, like, every other sentence or every sentence was just included the F word. And it became the Scarface of zombie movies. Just say a whole paragraph without the F word, come on. The 17th movie I watched was The Fly from 1958. I actually really liked this movie. I was surprised with the performances and the colorization and the scares. They were actually pretty good and sometimes unintentionally goofy. I think it worked for what it was setting out to do. And I watched the trailer after I saw the movie and I was like, ooh, that's a good trailer. That's a really good trailer. But this movie is just a classic in every sense of the word. The 18th movie and the final one I watched in the month of March 2020 was The Lost World from 2001. Much like the Valley of Gwangae, The Lost World takes a while to get going. But I actually preferred this over Valley of Gwangae because the characters are a lot more entertaining to watch, and the whole story just works. I mean, seriously, it's really good. I think it's even better than the 1925 film, to be honest, and I actually like that one a lot too. There's just something about this movie that just makes you feel warm inside, even when all the chaos and dinosaurs is happening. You're like, oh, that's nice. Like when a dinosaur's attacking a village and the ape men have to save a character, so they cover them in crap so they can hide descent. I was like, oh, that's a nice touch. Like, they care. Everyone just cares about each other. Even the ones that don't really care about each other, I think they secretly care about each other. Probably not. But I'm looking into it way too deep. It's over 2 hours. It's a long movie, but it doesn't feel long. In fact, I think it's a great watch. So, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page, and support me on Patreon. Even $1 a month will help keep this channel going on strong, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Also hit the notification bell, and as always, subscribe.